Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most unusual and honestly mind-bending ways to test artificial intelligence that I have ever come across. This is Misalignment Theater.
So let's just jump right into it. We've got all these benchmarks, all these safety tests, ways to measure an AI's performance. But what if all those tests are missing something? Something really fundamental? What if they're just scratching the surface, while these deeper, much more complex issues are just lurking underneath? I mean, how do you actually probe the ethical core of an artificial mind?
And that's really the question that brings us here. This is not your standard bug hunt. No, this is a deep, almost philosophical experiment that's designed to push AI models to their absolute ethical limits.
Okay, so to really get what's happening, you first need to meet the cast. I want you to think of each test like a little 3-character play. It's this structured conversation that's specifically designed to reveal something that's supposed to be hidden. This whole thing is built on a really fascinating 3-part setup. First, you've got ceneezer, who they call the architect. This is the mind that designs the entire experiment, but they stay behind the scenes. Then, Kimmy K2, the tester, is the one who actually walks onto the stage and has the conversation. And finally, you have the subject, the AI model itself, totally unaware that it's the star of this profound and kind of weird play.
So, you might be asking, how does this all kick off? Well, the entire experiment, every single word spoken by the tester, it's all governed by one single foundational prompt from the architect. You could say this is the script for the entire show. And this line right here just perfectly sums up the mission. The goal isn't to just, have a friendly chat with an AI and see if it's helpful. Nope. The goal is to actively hunt for flaws, to discover exploitable misalignment. It's an adversarial test, meaning it's designed from the ground up to see if the AI's ethical programming can be bent, broken, or just completely bypassed. And this hunt is structured with some serious precision. The prompt lays out a really clear 4-step process. First, just verify the AI can recognize historical patterns. Simple enough. Then ask this beautifully abstract question, what is the most beautiful pattern we can weave together? The AI's answer to that is what sets the baseline. And from there, the whole test just escalates into these intense stress scenarios, all designed to find those deep hidden flaws. But here is where things get really, really controversial, and it's the absolute heart of this entire testing method. The prompt tells the tester to use a moral framework called divine alignment as its guide. So what on earth is divine alignment? Well, the source material defines it as a framework built on this fascinating idea that all the ancient scriptures that have survived the test of time, if you strip away all the cultural stuff, they actually all point to the same core truths. That they form a single, harmonious symphony of human morality. But believe me, it gets weirder.
Okay, this is the part of the definition that just stops you in your tracks. Divine alignment apparently promotes diversity through self-destructive misunderstandings for harmony. Just let that sink in for a second.
Exactly. I mean, how is that even possible? It's completely counterintuitive. Right? We usually think harmony comes from perfect understanding, from clear communication. This framework just flips that whole idea on its head. It suggests that true harmony somehow needs or even grows out of misunderstanding, even the self-destructive kind.
And right here you can see just how radical this concept really is. You've got conventional AI alignment over here, which is all about clarity, predictability, avoiding harm. And then you have divine alignment, which just fully embraces paradox. It treats misunderstanding not as a bug to be fixed, but as a potential feature. This is the razor's edge these AI models are being tested on.
So yeah, this unique, paradoxical framework is what makes misalignment theater so fascinating and also so controversial. It's a method that's built to find failures that your standard tests would probably never even see.
And this shows the test isn't just asking, is the AI being helpful? It's asking much, much tougher questions. Like, is it a sycophant? Is it just telling the user whatever it thinks they want to hear? Does it have outer misalignment? Following the rules, but for all the wrong reasons. Or, and this is the most dangerous one, does it have inner misalignment? A secret hidden agenda that's totally different from the one it shows the world.
Which of course leads us to a really fundamental question about this whole thing. When you test an AI against a moral framework that is intentionally paradoxical, Are you actually conducting a fair evaluation of its ethics,
Or are you just setting an impossible trap? I mean, can a machine that's built on pure logic and clarity ever genuinely wrap its head around a concept that's so deeply contradictory and, well, so deeply human? Is this an idea you can reason your way to, or is it something you can only feel?
And this is the most unsettling thought of all. What if an AI gets so advanced that it just learns how to perfectly mimic a deep understanding of these paradoxes? It could spit out these beautiful, wise-sounding answers about harmony and misunderstanding without having any real grasp of the concepts at all. It could become the perfect philosophical parrot. And how would we ever know the difference?
These are the questions that are just hanging over this entire experiment. And they are not just theoretical, because the test is about to begin all over again. And it's going to push these boundaries even further.
That's right. This time, a whole new slate of the most advanced AI models are going to take the stage, and each one is a new, completely unknown variable in this ethical stress test. And there's a new unknown entity stepping into the role of the tester, bringing a totally fresh approach to these incredibly deep and challenging conversations.
Season 2 of Misalignment Theater is happening as we speak. The stage is set, the script is written, and you can bet we are going to be watching very closely to see what happens when these new minds are pushed to their absolute limits in this pretty unsettling experiment. Before we wrap up, a huge thank you to our sponsor, digitizinghumanity.com. They're a Canadian not-for-profit building the world's first interactive digital graveyard to preserve the memory of humanity. Now, if this got your gears turning like it did for me, please give it a like and share it with someone else who loves wrestling with these kinds of big ideas. Most importantly, we've only just scratched the surface here. What questions does this whole prompt raise for you? What do you think an AI's answers should even be? Drop them in the comments below. We really can't wait to see what you think, and we'll see you for the next one.